What is up, everybody? I am back here with some more news for y'all. Okay, some more news for y'all. So some crazy stuff happened. I believe Friday night, and then obviously yesterday afternoon into the nighttime. Yesterday for the, obviously for Friday night for the Eastern Conference. For the East in the NBA, and then last night was the game 7 between the Denver Nuggets and the Oklahoma City Thunder. That was a great game. So let's jump right into it. So the NBA, right? Some crazy stuff. The Pacers versus the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals. That is a matchup that I've been looking forward to. A lot of people have. I really like this matchup. The Pacers just dominated literally everybody. They dominated the Milwaukee Bucks in the first round. Then they pretty much dominated the number 1 seed Cleveland Cavaliers, where the Cavs only won one game, and that was at home against Indiana. Cleveland was in Indiana. My bad for mixing that up. And then the Pacers just went to Cleveland in game 5 and got that out of the way. And then the Knicks, everybody thought, boom, 4-1, they were going to win it. The Celtics won game 5. So game 6 in New York, the Knicks dominated and they defeated the NBA champions. So crazy stuff. So now the New York Knicks are back in the Eastern Conference Finals since 2000. Okay, 2000. Crazy stuff right there. Crazy stuff. It's going to be an awesome series. I know I said it for the semifinals here, but I think every game is going to go to game 7 unless something happens. And obviously with the Celtics, when Jason Tatum got injured, that kind of was like, okay, now the Celtics aren't going to go to game 7. You already knew as soon as Jason Tatum came and was out with the Achilles injury, you knew he was done for the year. You knew he was done. So the Celtics had no chance of winning that series. The Thunder, every game didn't go to game 7. Only one did, and that was the Nuggets and the Thunder, pretty much, which was an awesome game. But I think now that we have our Eastern Conference and our Western Conference finals set up, I think every game is going to go to game 7, and it should be a pretty good one. So on the Western Conference, the Nuggets and Thunder, game 7, right? I was really pulling for the Nuggets to win, but the Thunder got hot in the very end and pulled off a 125-93 victory over the Nuggets. So now we have 4 new teams in the conference finals, and they're all young. The Thunder with Shai Alexander, Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards, the Knicks with Jalen Brunson, and the Pacers with Tyrese Halliburton. So all 4 teams have young players on their team. They have young players, and we're going to get a new NBA champion. With the Celtics eliminated by the Knicks, we're getting a new NBA champion this year. And it's going to be a very fun matchup, and it's going to be very fun to see and who goes to the NBA Finals and who wins it all, right? On the Celtics side of things, Jaylen Brown, partial meniscus tear. Apparently, he was playing in Game 6 with a partial meniscus tear. Unfortunately, that does suck for him. It does suck when any athlete gets a injury. So really hope that it is nothing really serious and he could be back next year by October to start going for another NBA title. Hopefully, hopefully the Celtics don't have to think about getting somebody to fill in Jaylen Brown's role. Obviously, with Jason Tatum out for the year, they'll have to figure out a point guard and see if they want to trade or if they want to sign somebody in the free agency for less money and just say, hey, you're going to play for this year and then you're out. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what the Celtics are thinking right now. Obviously, the off season hasn't even started yet. So that is still up in the air to see what they're going to do. Giannis Antetokounmpo, in recent reports, he might be heading to the Warriors. He might be heading to Golden State, which is going to be very exciting to see Giannis in a Warriors uniform unless another team makes a great offer and gets him. Obviously, I've talked to this about it a couple of videos ago, but Giannis's future with the Bucks is up in the air right now. He doesn't know if he wants to stay with the Bucks for 3 more years and let them rebuild, or if he just wants to get traded to a team that's an NBA title contender. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. If it was me, I would rather want to leave and get traded than to just stay in a rebuild, because the rebuild is going to take a couple of years to rebuild that team and go to the NBA championship. With everything Giannis has done in Milwaukee, there's really nothing to do in Milwaukee, so hopefully if he does go to the Warriors, that'll have Warriors with Curry, Draymond, Jimmy Butler, and Giannis, your big four. And it would be really, really exciting to see how Steve Kerr does all that with everybody there. It's going to be good to see what he can do. What he can do with that Warriors team and maybe go for another championship like he did this year. Really hoping Curry gets his 5th ring. Really am. Kevin Durant, obviously, I talked about him as well. Where does he go, right? His thing with the Thunder hasn't really panned out, or not the Thunder, the Suns, my bad, the Suns. The thing with the Suns haven't panned out like the way it has. He wanted, It's not like the Warriors when he signed with the Warriors back in 2016, and the Warriors already had their playmakers, and then Durant came in, and now it's like, okay, Durant, you can shoot 20 points and then get 15 assists if you really wanted to, where in the Suns you had Devin Booker doing all that work, and then you went over to the Suns to help Devin Booker, and now it's just you got Bradley Beal that hasn't really worked out for you guys. So now what's your next move? Are you going to offer Durant more money or something to keep him in Phoenix for the rest of his career? Or are you going to let him walk? Or are you going to what are you going to do with that? If it was me, I would just let Durant walk. He don't want to be in your team no more. Let him walk. There ain't no sense of keeping him around, even though he is a good player. But there's no sense of him being around if you're not going to the playoffs every year. Why would you keep somebody like that and not be in the playoffs every year? That just makes no sense to me. NFL side of things, we have 7 international games this year. For me, I'm not a big fan of these international games. I hate waking up early to just watch them. I get it. It's more exposure to the world, but in reality, some of these countries don't have football. But if they have football, but it's like a different sport to them, So I don't think Roger Goodell should go to 7, and I don't think he should do these international games anymore. Yes, it's wise on business side, but it's not, because if you like my team, the Browns, in week 5, we got to travel to London to play the Vikings. That's one of our home games this year. And I have to wake up at 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning just to watch my team. Why? I don't like that. They need to keep it in America. They need to just keep it at home base. They need to keep it at home and just stop doing these international games. I understand the business side, but there's other places you can go. You don't have to do it international and have somebody wake up at 7 in the morning just to watch their favorite team either win or lose the game. And I think I don't like that idea. I don't like where the international games. I don't like it. It's too much. If we could cut it down to like maybe 3, then I'll be fine. But 7 is way too much. I mean, 7 international games. Why? What happens if you bought the tickets for like the Browns and Vikings game, only to find out that the Browns are going to London? Same with the Vikings, and now you got to reimburse your money because you got to do all this crap with the planes and getting a plane ticket to come to London and then come back over to the US. It's just dumb. Keep it at 3 minimum international games a year. Boom, there you go. And then on Friday, there was some big news. Charles Woodson has bought a 0.5% stake in the Cleveland Browns. So now he is a owner of the Browns, but only 0.5%. So this is going to be a new era. I'm thinking it's going to be a new era for Cleveland because over the past summer, last year and beginning of this year, there's been news and rumors going around that Jimmy Halsem needs to sell the team and let whoever buy the team outright and do what they want to do with the team. I think that's a good idea. I've been wanting that for months, but this is a way to do it. If Charles Woodson just goes in it and he bought 0.5%, and then he just keeps buying more and more and more, and then until he's 100% the owner, that would be awesome to see. But he does have the restrictions like Tom Brady does. He's not allowed to talk about he's not allowed to talk about the other teams. He can't talk about the Browns. He can't give the Browns insights about their opponents. Same with, that's all. It's the same rules that Tom Brady has to apply for. And it's smart. But this I see as a new era in Cleveland Browns. I think Jimmy Halsem is finally listening to the fans and letting people, hopefully more people will start to buy the Browns at a percentage and just ultimately buy out the Browns and make them, and have different, you look at the Broncos, Walmart purchased Broncos, the company that owns Walmart, they bought the Broncos and they got rid of Russell Wilson. They're paying Russell this much, but literally they let Russell go after 2 seasons because he wasn't doing nothing for Denver. So that's smart right there. And now look at Denver. And now they built this team and now they're pretty good, I think, So it's crazy to see. So maybe this needs to happen for Cleveland, is to let different people buy the Browns and see what they can come up with and see how it all affects them, and then go from there, because that way you can easily just you can easily get out of football or get out of the team you're owning, go live your retirement, and just repeat that cycle. It's not that hard. But that's what I have. I'll have more news coming either tomorrow or Wednesday about some stuff, more stuff related sports. Remember, like, comment, share, and favorite. Comment your favorite sports team, and I'll talk about them. Thank you all for tuning in to another episode here. So, and remember to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and favorite, and share. I'm out.